So thanks everyone for today's sessions, for your time. I know it's a Friday and some are prepared to go the weekends and some prepared to the holidays. So I will try to be light here. For those who do not meet me before, my name is Mutaz. I joined the project management internship industry innovation back in September and till December, which is this month. What I will present today, Trustworthy AI projects. And I was lucky enough to start early joining these projects, which is started early September, and also to see full cycle until the finishing part, which is yesterday happening, the closing of the Trustworthy AI projects. So I will present the Trustworthy AI project as I belong to PM practice. I will cover the objective, cycle, format of the projects, supporting resource, key takeaways, also my learning experience. So Trustworthy AI. So what's the trigger for the Trustworthy AI projects? So there is widespread of AI adoption required trust. In order to, there is a lot of advancement happening in the AI, and in order to implement this, there need to be trust from the user of the customer. So here the regulator and customer, internal stakeholder must trust this company using AI, do so in responsible and ethical manner. So to achieve this trust, AI adoption and risk mitigation require principles and framework related to the component of the trust, which include accountability, privacy, reliability, fairness, and security.
Mutaz, sorry, just to interrupt you. Do you want to put your slides into presenter mode?
Okay, just one second.
Sure, it's just we can see your speaking notes at the bottom in this view.
Oh, now?
Yes, that's better. Thank you.
Oh, no worries. Sorry. Yeah. So the key objective of the Trustworthy AI projects are to bring a sponsor together to discuss a standard and practice, and to develop recommendation and explore use cases related to establishing and maintaining the AI trust. In the projects, as a phase one, we discussed two principles, which is a privacy and fairness component. And we try to answer some questions related to what is the trustworthy AI for the organization, and how do you know if you are achieving the trustworthy AI? What are the minimum standard and practice required to achieve? And how do you evaluate the trade-off between performance and component of a trust? The benefit was, like, as we said, this is like we invite different participants from different industries. As we can see, like some of the financial services, some of the health industry, insurance industry. Also, we had a consulting facilitator, which is EY, where they bring their expertise and learning experience in this area as well. So in terms of delivery format, we have, as we discussed, like we have two work streams. We divided two work streams. One work stream is execution, and the other one is the oversight. And the rationale behind that is because execution of the AI trust is happening at the operational level, where the data scientist development of algorithm, collection of the data, while the oversight is more of governance around all of the process, either development lifecycle, design thinking for the AI algorithm and data as well. So each work stream, we have like 4 weeks, and we have like both of them, we have kickoff, we have preparation sessions, we have challenges, next step, and demos. And to make sure like we have connected the cycles between execution and oversight, we had started by plenary opening session, where we involve both participants from the execution and oversight to discuss overall objective of the Trustworthy AI and what we try to achieve. And also we had yesterday the plenary closing session, again, to reconfirm the takeaways between both work streams and to make sure like we have connected cycles starting from execution and throughout the oversight as well. What we have done differently for this thought leadership, in order to make it more practical and more engaging with the participant, we request at the start of the projects, each participant to bring their own use case. And this use case, it should be related to AI trustworthy and focus either on fairness or privacy. And by doing that, we ensure like the interaction and the discussion between the different participants will enrich the discussion and participation, and as well it will be more practical than just theoretical things. But in order to enable and empower the participant to develop a business case, and we have a clear boundary of what we need to discuss, we are not to make sure we are not going out of the road. We have developed a couple of materials to support the participant to achieve and to create and develop the business case. We have developed business case specific for each session. In the challenge, we provided a business case around like we come up with the business case related to Victor, and we start drafting articulating the challenge. And also we have a slide provided by brainstorming and next step. And also we have done thorough research with different material. And the aim of this all is to give inputs to participants to develop their use case. Again, in the process of making sure like we support our participants in our discussion by with either it is tools or best practice, leading practice, regulation and policy, and all of these things, which is latest in the market. We invite different speakers. We talk about like around 15 speakers being involved in all the session for both execution and oversight. And as we mentioned, like it's different speakers here. We have like which bring technical demos tools where the tools can be utilized to support the participant in achieving AI trustworthy. And also we have a bring like the policy, the latest policy available in the market, either it's local or globally, where the participant can relate and start think about how to really implement those kind and comply with these policy. During the session, as we discussed, like the format of our session is more practical, and we're talking about specific use cases. And here, like I just highlighted, selected some of the use cases related to fairness and privacy. This is what the participants bring to the table in the discussion. We had a lot of discussion, detailed discussion around the challenges, around the brainstorm. We brainstorm around each use case, and we hear from different participants how they deal with the situation in their company. We also talk about some ideas. We have our facilitator also discuss and relate some global experience to inform the participant in how they deal with their business case. Some of the business case related to missing data imputation. And when we talk about the missing, like some of the company, they have a huge data, but some of the data is missing, and they use some missing data imputation techniques where in order to fulfill these missing data. What they realize as an outcome, there is some unfairness outcome happening at the end after they're using these missing data imputation. And this is what the trigger for them in the need and importance of bringing like tools where they can use it in order to make sure whenever they fill the missing data, it's not generate any bias or fairness issues. We had also discussion about recruitment AI. Some of the company, they bring the challenge like they're using natural language processing to make the recruitment process about AI. But they figure out at one stage, like they don't have ability to explain why some of the system identify this potential candidate and some other. And they find also unfairness issues inherited in the data, where it's like affecting their result of the identification of the candidate in the recruitment. We have also cases where employee wellness recommendation, some of the company care about employee wellness by creating a conducive environment to their health. And they use a lot of techniques like surveys, and they use emails, a group question, in order to collect a lot of data about the employee in order to inform the well-being of the employee and their health. But what they found, like with these a lot of data, there is potential data breach and leakage in the data, which is here is again related to the privacy issues around the data, and how if this data is being used in not a proper way, that will generate a lot of privacy issue, and also again trust back will AI will be affected. We have a lot of other business cases. This is just selected business case, and again that's help us internally also with the team in order to share an idea about how we can brainstorm about what solution we could implement here, what process or people skills we need, and also what technology we can utilize, leverage in order to support us in the process of helping close the gaps in AI trustworthy. Also, one of the tools we used in order to facilitate the discussion and make it more meaningful and enrich the discussion, we use a tool called Moral. And this tool is like it's a combination of helping the design thinking between the team and brainstorming, where it capture all the challenges in one dashboard. It capture all the brainstorming. It give you the feedback from different participant, and also it's generate some of the outcomes and takeaway. It's help us to facilitate discussion. All the team being at the same dashboard, where on a spot each team can modify, add the comments, questions, and also generate insight from the tools. So in terms of the key takeaways, here I highlighted some of the key takeaways, and we had a discussion with the participant, and we all agree on most of these key takeaways. One of them is like, while trustworthy AI challenge across all industry are similar of nature, some sectors are particularly risk-averse and require high burden of proof to adopt the benefit of the AI. The second one is one size does not fit all organization, and this is in terms of definition of scope of fairness and privacy. There is no unified definition of the fairness or privacy. Each organization will need to sit together with internal and external stakeholder to reach to the fit for purpose definition of the fairness and privacy, which is aligned with their strategy, priorities, and directions. Again, it is team effort. Top-down and bottom-up approach are required with effective governance to discover let's say the matrices and controls, to review and also to inform and ensure the trustworthy AI is embedded in their algorithm. There is a lot of industry-specific discussion. There is a discussion in technical, and a participant always highlight like we need more on depth discussion for each industry as well. In a quick way, like my key learning here from all the journey, one of them is learning from experience from other projects and colleagues to help accelerate the learning curve. And this is very important, like because Victor, they have a lot of ongoing projects, and it's very important like to connect with different teams to understand what their lesson learned from different projects, what the journey, how what kind of process they have taken, and what kind of participation they have, how they engage with them. That's help us to accelerate the learning curve for us. Also, one consolidated database of participant and speaker is what you need, and this is very important. In this project, we created this one consolidated hub for all the speakers potential. We took this list from different departments in Victor. So from the BD department, from also project management department and other department, where we make sure like we have a consolidated comprehensive list of all the speaker and participant to access and interact with. What we notice, and this is like in the Zoom live, participants are usually quiet. There's a lot of reason for that. So one of them is visual, everyone behind the screen. But what we saw like is more one-to-one interaction with participant before session help to motivate them to participate. So we tried to engage with the participant before the sessions. We had a lot of interaction with them, discussion around their use cases. We challenge some of the use cases. We give some input how to enhance it, and we participate in even developing the potentially question for each participant. And that's helped a lot in make it more interactive and collaborative discussion between the participant. The presence of participant middle management team is very important. So single recommendation here, like when you invite participant with the VP and higher position, make sure like you also they have a middle management team join them, because that will help higher position. They are very busy, we notice, like, and they don't have a lot of time sometimes to bring for best case use case development and all of this. So what help us like to have middle management team where they have a bridge the gap between what needed in the sessions and getting input from the higher management. Engage in pragmatic discussion regarding how to maintain data confidentiality. And this is one of the challenge we had, like each participant, they have concern about their data sharing in terms of when we come to the use case around the data confidentiality and the privacy. And here we try to give them major relief about what data they can share and how they can share, what the assumptions they can make. This helps us a lot in order to make sure like the participants, when they present their cases, they feel safe, and they feel, and still they getting the value they looking for. At the end, I want to give a special thank you to the team who dedicated working in the AI Trustworthy. Eric as a project manager, Andres as a SMEs, Omar and Cheyenne as a colleague on the projects. Thank you, everyone. And please, if you have any question, feel free to ask.